Hey everyone, I'm Tom, welcome to my gaming channel. Today I'm playing another episode of Automation the Car Company Tycoon game. I'm gonna build a supercar today, a mid-engined one, and it's going to be like track oriented in the same way that, you know, I'm gonna try to compete with cars like, and that may sound cocky, I'm gonna try to compete performance wise at least with cars like the Porsche 918, and I realized that that's gonna be quite a tough competitor. I know, but I'm not doing this video just for the views or for the likes or anything like that. I'm doing it to see how fast I can make a car in this build, because it was possible in a pre-Steam build to make cars go faster than 7 minutes around the Nürburgring. And I'm gonna try and see if that's still possible or not. For me at least. I mean, sure, somebody will be able to do it. And I'm gonna start off with one of those lips on the front end. Actually two, because we want the downforce to be as efficient as possible, and therefore, since we're gonna put two wings in the back anyway, we should put the lips up front and none on the rear, because otherwise we're making not enough downforce on the front end. Now we're gonna go ahead and put down one of these and flip it upside down, put it like this, and put another one on top and make it a little bit bigger. That gives it a nice basic shape, I think, and we can put one of those like this and then stretch it all the way, so we get something like that. I don't necessarily know if I like this though. Like, of course we can put like the fog lights like right there. But now we still need like a nice, some more vents basically to the side of this front end, and we also still need the grille, because this is going to be a new model on the AMW lineup, and it's going to be one that sets out to, as I said, compete performance-wise with the Porsche 918 and the McLaren P1 and the LaFerrari, you know? So it's gotta be like really, really fast. Actually, we should, you know what, we should stretch these grills, because otherwise the headlights are gonna look lost when they're all the way over there. Actually, I'm gonna put down some these right here and worry about the vents on the bottom right a little bit later. I'm gonna put down this like here, and then put one of those down like here. I wanna build like an extravagant shape, like nothing too normal, if you will. Something fancy that will attract people's attentions. So with basic headlight shape like this, I think that might be more than just possible. We also want to increase the size of these grills a little bit, make them a little bit bigger. And then stretch them a little bit more, I think. That means we can also make the badge bigger. And then we're gonna put some headlamps in here. And then some indicators as well. I mean, you can argue that if somebody buys this car and is driving behind you on the, on the highway or something like that, and trying to overtake you, you will hear them before you see them indicating. Let's just face it. It's the same as with, a Lamborghini or something like that. Speaking of which, I actually like the Lamborghini Huracan for the fact that I don't know how, but is it that much lighter than the Aventador? I mean, it's the successor to the Gallardo, so it should be lighter than the Aventador. Actually, 3,400 pounds, that doesn't seem that much heavier than the Aventador actually is. But it still accelerates like absolutely crazy. 2.8 seconds from 0 to 60, and the quarter mile time just as fast as the Aventador, but I think at even higher speed. I mean, how did they do that? with 90 horsepower less than the Aventador, I should add. That's just incredible. Maybe the gearbox shifts faster or something like that. Maybe the power distribution of the all-wheel drive is a little bit better. I don't know. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and build a nice little body kit on the bottom right here. I think you should start with something like this. Not that long though. We want some blank space on the right edge. Then we can go ahead and put one of those like in here. Come on. And that should not only provide some more cooling, but also help us out achieve those, fancy looks that we're after. I think that looks good enough for now. Then we're gonna put some indicators on the side, if we actually can. Well, okay, not really. So let us do something like this and then put them here. We can, oh, you know what, we can also put them like here. Yeah, that's a much better place to put them. Door handles, we want them, even though I know, yeah, it's possible to, press a button on your key and then open the door electrically. I still prefer like traditional door handles. But anyway, I'm gonna add a huge one of these. Actually, this is not as huge as... This is not your definition of huge. But I'm still gonna stick with this size. And try and make those fixtures flow, you know? I think that looks alright. 1878.5. We might need some more cooling though, because we're gonna give this one hell of an engine. Let's just put it that way. For the tail lights, I've actually figured out a technique that I quite like, and that I've put on some of my most recent cars on the forum, which is to create basically an outer shape with red taillights, and then once we're done with the basic shape, we're gonna put some more fixtures in there. I'm gonna put this like like so, and then connect those two with this red taillight right here. Then I'm gonna put one of these LED strips in here because they look pretty nice, I think. And after that, I'm gonna put some more red taillights down, like diagonally from left to right. And just to make sure they're all the same, you know, height, I make them as... I decrease the height of these fixtures as much as possible, and then, you know, adjust the length to my individual needs. And this is going to be... You know what? I want another white section down here somewhere. Probably like starting like here, and then going here. Because in that white section we can make this look even fancier than it already will when we fill this out with the red taillight fixtures. It'll look even fancier once we put some round taillight fixtures onto this white area right here. I think the middle one needs to be a little bit longer. There we go, that looks pretty clean. And once we stretch these red taillights across the white ones, you will see that they don't override the white ones. at least, well, they kind of do partly. But I think it's fine the way it is. Wait a second, I want to make this a little bit shorter, please. Thank you. And then I'm gonna just use some more red taillights to fill the rest of these gaps out. And I'm probably gonna, excuse me? I'm probably gonna only need this one more. Yes, that is correct. So that is like a pretty decent basic structure of the taillights, I think. Move this further here. And now I'm gonna do what I said I would do, and that was to put some of those onto the white area right here, and then a yellow one, which is going to be the indicator. There we go. Those are our taillights. Okay, now we're gonna put the badge down like here. And I'm taking more time on the exterior than I will be taking on the engine probably. And that is mainly because I think I'm not gonna take very long on the engine. And also on the suspension setup, I already have a setup like in my mind that I really want to use, and that it's probably going to be the fastest one anyway. So yeah, I'll just take some more time here. Also, I want this car to look the part, you know. It should look as high tech as it's gonna be. It should look as fast as it's gonna be. And for that we're also gonna require wings. Maybe not this one. We might wanna add another one of those though. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Now that I look at it a little bit more closely. And this right here is way too long. Alrighty then, so what we're gonna try to do on the rear as well is to make another like huge body kit with some big vents, and one of those grills. Because it should look, you know, advanced, if you will. It should look like it's not just thrown together by some apprentice in their garage or something like that. Wait a minute, I'm gonna decrease the length of this. What did we just move? This one? Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna put down the number plate, because this is going to be road legal after all. You know, a Porsche 918 is also road legal, so this one should be as well. Oh, well, we're gonna put the number plate here then. If we're not gonna be able to see it, well, shit happens. Whatever though. I'm gonna put down some of the reverse lights that I tend to use right next to the number plate. Gives it a nice little touch. And we want some exhausts in here as well, obviously. And given that this is going to be a seriously fast car, I'm gonna go for quad exhausts. You know what? I'm gonna put them like down here. And then I'm gonna change the color first of all. White maybe? Silver? Orange? Orange might be good. Okay then. Like, the exhausts are pretty small though. You know what? I'm gonna put them like here and make them a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay then. Right, we're gonna make this rear-wheel drive and make a new engine for it. I wanna go for a flat plane V8, and obviously like really high bore and low stroke, because I want this engine to rev, you know, to the skies, if you will. 49.95 should be fine. Do the overhead cam, 5 valves per cylinder, all the most expensive materials, because we're gonna need them. Obviously, you know, a Porsche 918 costs $1 million bucks, so not too worried about the costs there. I'm gonna give this thing turbocharging, and it's going to be like, you know what, fuck it, we might as well just go for maximum quality everywhere. And I wanna rev it like really high, which means I'm gonna, if I wanna avoid this thing breaking down like immediately, I'm gonna have to run it not that high on boost. Like 1.25 bars is quite something, but it's not crazy or anything. 400 per cylinder performance intake. You know, we want this thing to be road legal after all, and we're gonna go for like a pretty rich fuel mixture right there. 11.0 to 1. We don't care about fuel economy, unlike the Porsche 918, because we don't have hybrid systems in the game yet, and yada yada yada. We want this thing to rev to 10,000 RPM. That was my set goal. So we are going to go for only one muffler and maximum quality we can here. Max power 21, 26, that should be enough. I mean, obviously we're not gonna make anywhere near that much power just yet, but yeah, we got a long way to go. Reliability is awesome, so we can, but valve float is occurring. How? Okay, 9800 is close to 10,000, so I'm not gonna bother. 2 bars. And now I'm gonna go ahead and increase the compressor size and turbine size. 1400 horsepower is still not as much as I would like. Actually, we're gaining power by making the exhaust diameter bigger, so I should keep that in mind. A 75mm compressor is like huge. Of course, we still wanna increase the compression as well. Oh, we chose to run on 95 octane fuel. Okay, that's fine though. We don't want race intakes because we want this thing to be road legal, as I said. So 1477, 1484, 1483. We can increase the size of this thing. To like a 5.9, maybe a 6 liter. A 6 liter. Now what do we make? 1569. If it's not gonna be 1600, then it's the best amount of horsepower if you ask me. So okay, 1573. 1573. I mean, it's nowhere near my most horsepower I've ever made, but you know, well, we can decrease the compression a lot and then go up to 3 bars, which gave us like 9 horsepower total. 94.9, so we can still increase this and get 1600. What's our rev limit? 8600. That's a little bit too high. Okay, let's listen to this thing first. That doesn't sound too bad. The reliability is 86.8, but don't get fooled by that because it takes ages to build and it's really expensive, this engine, so you would expect it to be kind of reliable. Okay, so we're gonna go for the best gearbox we can, which is I think gonna be the 7-speed double clutch, but we can adjust, you know, the amount of gears later. And we want this to be fast around the track rather than fast in a straight line. So we're gonna not only increase the quality of the gearbox, we're also gonna set the top speed rather low for the amount of horsepower we're making at least. We're gonna run this on like 20-inch rims and put some better looking ones on there. 385's rear, 370, yeah, 385's might as well. And the front we're gonna have like 285's, I think. Sports compound, I think, because we're gonna put maximum quality we can on this anyway. The rims are gonna be magnesium. We're gonna go for carbon ceramic brakes, and somebody told me you always want bigger brakes in the front than on the rear because of the weight that shifts. Because the weight transfers to the front basically when you're braking, especially when you're braking hard, and therefore you always want bigger brakes on the front. So thank you for that advice. Sorry I didn't remember your name, but that's a useful thing to know. And we're gonna go for an active wing because we want this thing, like what the active wing does, it only when you're cornering, it's at the wing angle that you set here. but when you're going in a straight line, it's completely flat, so you get the maximum, you know, top speed and acceleration and so on. We do need more cooling though, so we're gonna go ahead and put some vents on the back section right here. Which ones do we use? Let's use like some of these right here. They kind of look lost here, but you know, I'm not perfectionist enough to care about that very much. Okay, so we want only 2 seats with sport interior. Actually, basic, yeah, sport interior. And just to you know, not be a total asshole towards my customers, I'm not gonna decrease the quality here. Since we have no entertainment, increasing the quality on this section won't increase our weight. We want advanced safety because we don't want our drivers to kill themselves. I know I'm not building this to its, you know, absolute best performance, because otherwise I would go for basic interior and -15 quality and then no safety, or basic safety with -15 quality. But again, I want this to be like at least somewhat realistic, not like extraordinary and completely out of the realms of, you know, not possibility but sanity rather. Okay, so we want 5 here, then we want 300 here, and then we want 200 here, and then we want this thing to set a little bit lower, and maximum quality on the suspension. And then we get the car that gets 88.9 sportiness, weighs 1500 kilograms, still makes more than 1 horsepower per kilo though. So what does it do around here? 114.36. I'm not sure if that's on par with the 918. I don't think it is. So what do we do now? We can still make the engine more powerful, obviously, but we could also check something here. We can make this car more drivable overall if we decrease the turbine size. We are losing power. We've lost more than 100 horsepower here, but I think that we can also run it richer, I think. Yes, okay. Now we're gonna up the compression again, so that we will use our fuel to the best extent. 1569 horsepower. What if we... Yeah, well, we want to make sure that we can run this actually. 95 cam profile. This actually looks like a much nicer power curve overall. Can you put one more point? No, we cannot. But what we can do is increase our compressor size so that we move the maximum power, like the peak power, a little bit further upwards. And actually we're making more power than when we started retuning the engine. So how does this affect our time here? Negatively, actually. What if we play a little bit more with the ride height? Like making it a little bit lower. That did not help us. What's it do around here? 210.23. You know what this sound reminds me of? We all know the Ferrari 458, don't we? And there is an Italian Ferrari tuner called Novitec Rosso, and they built a turbocharged, well, they turbocharged the 458, and that thing sounds pretty similar when it accelerates, like this, similar to this. There we go, reached its top speed in like 16.5 seconds or something like that. Kilometers an hour in less than 10 seconds. Okay. Sure, we honestly think we could also just go for semi-slicks then, because there are road legal cars that come on semi-slicks. For example, the previous generation Lotus Exige did, or the Exige, yes, probably 1:13.36. So if you ignore the first one here, we're exactly 1/100th of a second too fast to be truly great. But anyway, we can make this thing faster, like top speed wise. 45.75 liters is per 100 kilometers an hour is, oh, per 100 kilometers. I'm sorry, is, well, ridiculous, I admit. But still, you know, if you're gonna buy a car that accelerates this fast and might do the green hull in less than 7 minutes, I actually don't think it will. Not quite. Yeah, that's what I expected right there. But if I actually put, let's name this thing. I don't want to give it a name yet here. But this is the NA version, and then we're gonna go for medium big performance V8 is what I call this engine family, and that is the turbocharged version, 6.0 liter TT version. And then we're gonna copy this engine and then no, wait. We're gonna make a new, if not entered the name, a super hypercar. Okay, and then I'm gonna clone this variant, or this trim right here, and then I'm gonna go for the variant 1 engine, and that one's gonna be naturally aspirated. What I'm thinking is that we might be able to get a better amount of performance out of this thing, like a better track time, because it is going to be way more drivable. 677 horsepower is actually not as much as I thought this thing might make. It's gonna rev to the moon though. Yeah, and the exhaust is way too big. .862 is more along the lines of what I was looking for. Get a little bit of wild float, but that's alright. Can we increase something else? We can... we cannot increase the compression ratio anymore unless we run it on more expensive fuel. Which for the purpose of this particular car I don't want to do. It's too big now. It's too big, yeah. Okay. What about now? 861, so we lost 1 horsepower. Alright. Good. If we go for race exhaust still. Race tubular exhausts, because I think there have been performance cars, like road legal performance cars, that have used race tubular exhausts. Like I've once seen the engine of like the S52 engine from a BMW M3 E46, and the exhaust the exhaust headers looked, to me at least, pretty similar to the race tubular exhaust headers that we have for an inline 6 in this game. So maybe... Wait a second, why is this estimated to be so slow? Well, we're making about like 700 horsepower less, so I shouldn't be surprised there. But we are gonna be pretty quick still, 2.3 seconds. I haven't lost any acceleration figures right there. But we are gonna need a lot less cooling right here. This will be fine, and then we can increase the top speed. That is totally fine. Yeah. So what do we get now? It's also more than 200 kilograms lighter than before. 710. Surprisingly close though. Actually, to some of you guys it might not be surprising, because yeah, in the second section where there's all these tight corners, it is faster. I'd be interested to see what it does around the after track. 112.01. Okay, there you have it. That might be 918 territory right there. So this is going to be the NA version. Or did I called the turbocharged one NA. What silly me though. NA, so okay. And that is going to be 6 NA. Okay, now just click here again to refresh this, and it's saved. Like, this is the new hypercar. It also makes a more comparable amount of horsepower to, you know, the P1, the 918 and the LaFerrari. And I think I'm gonna end this episode right here. The average reliability is through the roof though. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, please click the like button, it helps out a great deal. Also consider subscribing if you want to see more content in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.